Welcome to the POMcast with Stephen Willis. Now we're going to do things a little different. We are going to provide an honest look at Ole Miss athletics for the fan, by the fan, and of the fan. That is what we do. Hell be to me. I'm just kidding. Tune in for some Ole Miss sports news. We're going to give it to you straight. Yeah, right now. The POMcast starts now. It happens now. Holy cow. Listen to me. It's starting. Well, it's going to start right about now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is having a fantastic day. And I hope everything is going quite well. Welcome to a new era in Ole Miss sports. This is the POMcast. The new look POMcast, as you can see the nice, beautiful studio and such, and the information on the right, and you can see about how to follow us and catch the show video-wise. Now, we are going to change what we do to the audio version of the podcast and how we do that. But if you bear with that, if that is your chosen way to do that, that's fine. It's still going to be available. It just might not be available at 10 o'clock Central every day, 11 o'clock Eastern every day. It might be a little bit later than that, basically because we are doing this show live. So it's going to push all that to the back burner. So I do appreciate you sticking around for that. And welcome to the POMcast. I mean, it's a pretty amazing thing that we have going on, and it's going to be great. And you know, you can see everything, our the way we look and everything's going on. But I want to basically take it down. We have Chris Thrasher coming up in segment 2 to talk a little bit at his first hit about Ole Miss sports, so stick around for that. And we have basically thoughts on the basketball team and thoughts on the Jeff Lebby situation, and kind of talking about us a little bit and what we're doing. So we do appreciate you sticking around, tuning into us, and seeing all the tools that we have at your disposal. Also, we want to say Darby McCraney has agreed to sign on, and he's going to be our recruiting czar. So we will start that shortly. It'll be a couple of weeks from now as we ramp up to that, just like we did with Chris Thrasher. But it will be here eventually. And if anybody has something they want to contribute to the POMcast, they want to take ownership of, let me know. Let me know, because we can basically set it up to where you do what you want to do. Because the whole purpose of this is fun. This is an of the fan, by the fan situation. But it's about having fun and enjoying following Ole Miss sports. No more anxiousness, no more anxiety. I'm not trying to, use you as an ATM. I'm trying to make this fun and cover Ole Miss in the way that you want it to be covered. Anybody that says that everything revolves around money is it's stupid, and it decreases enjoyment, as the attendance in college football has shown over the last 10, 15 years. So this is going to be a little bit different. We are going to, like I said, do of the fan, by the fan, and for the fan. And we're going to cover uniforms. We're going to, we have an Oxford correspondent, Chris Thrasher. We're going to cover recruiting in a different way. This is about enjoyment. If you want to learn real quick about who to look for Ole Miss athletics, just hit us. We're going to hit it in about 5 to 10 minutes once a week, and you're done. You don't have to think of it again. And basically with that, you have more time for yourself. You have more time for your enjoyment, because the anxiousness isn't built in. We're not trying to use you as an ATM. I've already made my money. I mean, I don't necessarily need more. I just want to keep the lights on here. and I want to do this for a long period of time. So as long as this isn't a net money loser, this will stay on the air because, like I said, I don't necessarily need it to survive. Nothing is about money. I'm very low key when it comes to that. But this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. Welcome to Positively Ole Miss, the POMcast. We're going to do around the SEC. We're going to do signing day specials, game specials. We're going to expand from here. And doing so means that more content is going to be available for you. We're going to get our correspondents. We're going to basically what little niche within Ole Miss fandom they want to fill, they can fill and explore, so you don't have to. You don't have to go down that rabbit hole and look at that. And it's going to be really neat. Now, we're not going to hard launch until April-ish. This is just what's the word I'm looking for? This is just a soft launch, so to speak. We had to go to video at some point in time. We're going to work and get all the bugs out. Like you can see with Chris Thrasher, we had a couple of technological glitches, but we worked through it. And the same thing I'm sure will happen with Darby as well. But welcome to the POMcast. Welcome to the new era of Ole Miss sports coverage and something you can watch and enjoy with quickness. And it is not going to be so much of a time suck. Now, we're going to offer to Ole Miss and the Loyalty Foundation the ability to have ads for free. That's something that's going to come up by April, and give them spot, for nothing, because, the whole point of this is to grow the fan base. But in doing so, there's going to be a lot that can be transpired. Anatomy of a Touchdown is coming back. 3 for the Weekend is coming back. Around the SEC, Friday night scoreboard show. We're going to have a lot of fun with this because we've got this great toy. And in order to play with it is just fantastic. I'm just really, really happy about this. And this whole situation is like a ribbon cutting ceremony, an acknowledgement, because I've been working on the POMcast since last March. It's almost been 11 months. And to finally on February 1st take the video step is pretty amazing for me personally, especially when you consider that 6 months before I decided to do this, I couldn't walk. Couldn't think, couldn't do anything. But now I'm doing all this. So thank you. Like I said, we're doing this in a position because we can. Coming up in the second segment, the Chris Thrasher interview. Stick around for that. And then in the third segment, we're going to talk a little bit of Jeff Lebby. And why it isn't as dark as you think it is. Stick around, and thanks for listening.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
We spend 6 hours a day in front of a screen.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at active4life.ca.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis from Positively Ole Miss. We're almost done with this break. We'll be back with good information quite soon.
The military has been in every generation of my family, and so has VA. It wasn't easy for my dad after Vietnam, but VA helped him and my mom get the home they'd always wanted. My grandpa's been coming to VA since World War II. They even helped him lay to rest one of his battle buddies from Normandy. And me, I followed in their footsteps and served with pride. And now that I'm out of the military, the GI Bill's helping me with school. Every generation of my family has served, and VA has served us all.
Welcome to the POMcast. Chris Thrasher, Oxford correspondent, joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about football. We're going to talk a little bit about basketball. We're just going to talk a little bit about the vibe in Oxford in general. How you doing, Chris?
Man, I'm making it, man. Loving ready for some football, ready for next season.
Yeah, the schedule dropped recently. It's over actually on the side of the screen as it'll come up along with our top 22 targets and all that stuff. So it's going to be exciting. What are you looking forward to for this season in particular?
Man, I think a lot of people are sleeping on us. I looked at the schedule when it came out, and I honestly, I only seen one loss, and that's Alabama. The rest of it looks super favorable, man.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to, the LSU game is like 1 week from where it's supposed to be, so that's going to be good enough, I guess. I'm looking forward to the LSU game. I'm looking forward to going out to Rocky Top, and I'm looking forward to actually getting Texas A&M. I don't know if you actually noticed this or have known that, but we have played Texas A&M 6 times at home and only 3 times on the road since they have joined the SEC.
I knew that time we beat them in Texas A&M. I think that was the largest crowd in college football history that we beat them in front of that time.
Yeah, it was a good match. And then they close out with Vanderbilt. It's going to be a good season. I'm looking forward to it. I think Athlon put Matt Corral as one of the Heisman favorites for next year. And, I mean, there's just so much momentum. Talk about the momentum in Oxford. What's it like in town?
Oh, yeah, so me and a couple of guys hung out in town this week, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. And, man, there's a buzz. There's that 2013, 2014 buzz going around town, like it was back then. There's been some uneasiness with the coaching searches and everything going on, but you and I have talked about that. If people are picking our coaches, and we're obviously doing something right, Alabama has to Saban has to pretty much get a new staff just about every year. So we're in good company.
Yeah, and Lane Kiffin hires new coaches. And what people don't realize, let's take the Jeff Lebby rumors where he might get the job at Central Florida. Well, Kendall Briles only lasted 1 year at FAU, and they bring in the Baylor system, and they do all that, and they get a Baylor guy to teach it, and then it kind of teaches the next thing and builds up. Because Lane Kiffin's 5 years into this at this point, into this system, so he's going to be fine. They're doing his stuff anyway, but it'd be nice to keep Jeff Lebby, but if he moves on, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. Yeah, it's guys like you and I and a few other people who are just really in the know of it really don't worry about it when it comes to Lane Kiffin, but you could still tell around town there was an uneasiness about Lane going, which I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, but we don't want to lose Lebby either. So
yeah, and basically the pay services are set up to where they have to have that anxiousness and anxiety for people to sell subscriptions.
That clickbait.
Yeah, that clickbait. And they bring you in and they just guess, and they're wrong more times than they're not. Yeah. But it's just a situation. Be smart. Enjoy what you have, because we are at the beginning of something very special.
Yeah, Lane's going to leave sometime. He's not going to be here forever, I don't believe. So that's what I tell people and tell my friends, man, just enjoy while he's here,
Yeah, absolutely. A little technical malfunction. Chris is back with us. I apologize for the jump cut. Like I said, it's going to be a little rough. It's going to be a little imperfect while we're doing this. Hey, Chris, talk about Kermit Davis and what's going on with Rebel basketball right now.
Yeah, man, those guys just they just can't seem to find their groove. I think we've always had that key guy. Whether it was Marshall Henderson, Moody. We've always had that one guy, and I think they look for Shuler to be that guy, and I just don't think he's consistent enough to do it. He's so streaky, and man, they cannot get it going from 3-point line. So it's just been rough. The defense has been amazing, but we can't really get anything going on offense.
Yeah, they're really good from 15 feet in, but they are abysmal from 15 feet out. I mean, they've got
Joyner,
some pieces.
Absolutely. Joyner, man, he just, I haven't seen anybody love that mid-range jumper in so long. You know, it's just nice to see somebody that actually appreciates that mid-range jumper.
Yeah, it's like 1994 again. That's actually pretty good to see.
Yeah. No, it's just been tough to watch. You know, we got on the road there when the season started, and then we got an SEC play, and it just went downhill from there. But I hate saying this because it seems like an Ole Miss cliche, but I'm looking forward to the guys coming in next year, man. I think Ruffin can be that guy. So I'm already looking forward to then.
And Grant Slatton.
Hopefully we can turn it around. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like I say, help's on the way, but they're not coming this year. It's not coming this year.
No, I don't see it happening this year, man, unfortunately.
So, and baseball season's set to open up. I know you're not too well versed on the baseball program and everything, but it actually, I think it starts in like 3 weeks, and we might have a true freshman shortstop. So the question is to you, does the true freshman bleach his hair blonde?
Hey, I hope so. That blonde brought that magic last season, didn't it? I hope they all do it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of bottle blonde out there, man. You can smell the bleach from here.
Oh, man, it was awesome. As a matter of fact, my son and I caught, I think, the very last game before COVID hit, and they had went off, man. I think they hit 4 or 5 home runs that game. It was just, you know, it sucked it was the last one.
That was the Louisiana-Monroe game. I remember watching a little bit of that, yeah. But did you hear any of the recruiting?
Yeah. I heard you say we got somebody to come on and do the recruiting.
Yes, Darby McCraney is going to come on and be our basic recruiting czar. He gave me a list right here for our first hit, like real quick, just boom.
Right.
And it came out Ty Simpson, Ja'Cory Brown, and Gavin Wimsatt. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks we're apparently going after this year.
Yeah.
And I'm familiar with Ty Simpson because I think his dad was the head coach at UT Martin.
Yeah. I'm
not so much familiar with Ja'Cory Brown and Gavin Wimsatt.
Yeah.
As this gets going, I'm going to put links to their huddle video and maybe incorporate their huddle video in some way on the site. But, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing. Recruiting for 2022 is about to start. I think signing day is this week.
Oh, yeah.
But right after that, we're going to jump straight into the 2022 class and just provide an avenue for people to follow.
Man, I'm really excited about that kid from, Cordova? You know, right up the street.
Yeah.
The 5-star defensive tackle. I can't think of what his name is.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I need to look that up, but I know who you're talking about. It's like number 1 or number 2 in the country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm super. I think Tennessee was high on his list, but we all know what's going on at Tennessee. So hopefully that'll swing it in our favor.
The Hamburglar hit him.
Yeah, that was something else, man. I was on Twitter for a while checking that out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, anyway, we're going to do a little bit of editing on this interview to make sure it's acceptable, but it'll air on Monday morning. We recorded this on Sunday evening for people that are watching this, but we're going to incorporate Chris, we're going to bring Darby on, and we're going to provide basically for the fan, by the fan view for people and cover this in a little bit different way. But anyway, thanks, Chris, for joining us, and we're going to do this throughout the year.
Hey, man, looking forward to it, man. Can't wait.
All right, hotty toddy.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already! Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive. A message from Florida's trusted choice independent insurance agents.
Hey, this is Stephen Willis. I just want you to stick around a little longer. We're going to get back to the podcast right after these messages.
Tonight, nearly 40,000 veterans across the country are homeless. These men and women have pledged to serve our nation, and now we must serve them. Landlords across the country have helped make significant progress in reducing veteran homelessness by making housing available, but there is more that we can do to bring our veterans home. Visit www.va.gov/homeless to see how you can get involved. And if you are a veteran and you are experiencing homelessness, please call 877-4AID-VET. Thank you.
Welcome back. Basically, that was Chris Thrasher, his first ever hit. Send him a congratulation at his Twitter address that is on his site. So, yeah, tell him good job. Tell him thank you for coming on board, because that is an example. We're going to do a little bit better. We're going to, make it a little bit more acceptable, more palatable, more broadcast ready like this. But as it starts out, it's a little bit rough. So congratulate him. Great segment there. We're going to do one with Darby McCraney in a couple of weeks once the 22 recruiting class and cycle really takes off. Again, you can see it on the bottom, but I'll tell you anyway. You can catch us on Twitter at @TheStephenWillis. You can catch us on Facebook at facebook.com/POMcast. You can hit us up on YouTube at youtube.com/positivelyolemiss. Also, hit the bell, because you'll be notified whenever we're streaming, and you will not dare miss this fantastic production. And on Twitch at positivelyolemiss, all one word. You can hit it up there. That's 3 avenues for you to watch the video. And as this thing takes off, you can do that. If you're listening on the audio side, again, thank you. It's a little bit different. You're missing out over here on the video side. But if you're on the audio side, you can catch us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and Pandora. We're also on minor podcatchers. Check Positively Ole Miss if you want to check, see if it's on there. We could list them all, but we'd be here all day. But that's kind of the show and the setup we have. Basically, also, we were talking a little bit with Chris about Jeff Lebby and the rumors that is going on. And now, he's a great coach, and I would prefer to keep him. Let's get that out of the way at the beginning. But whenever Lane Kiffin went to FAU, he hired Kendall Briles. Kendall Briles left. The offense stayed the same. Jeff Lebby got hired. If he leaves, the offense will again stay the same. Because basically, when it comes to the Baylor system, somebody for the tree is responsible for the install, and then it kind of teaches itself. There's little things and little nuances about who to give the ball to after the play and how to line up, and just the quick turnaround stuff that it helps to have somebody from that tree to teach. Now, Jeff Lebby's a great coach, and if he gets offered the job at Central Florida, it's a great move for him and his family. He moves up to be a head coach. Nobody in the world can blame him for taking that. But at this point, there's no proof that that is actually happening. There's a lot of people making assumptions, and there's a lot of people basically moving on with what they need, because they need you to be anxious and stuff to spend money. They're trying to play the clickbait game. It's just like earlier this season, whenever the big story came out was, will Matt Corral turn pro? And it was a story made up by the group. Then they talked about the story, and then the story gets asked at a press conference, and it spreads. But it was made up on a podcast just as a hypothetical. And it ends up being a story, and you have to account for those questions. And so we don't want to do that with Jeff Lebby. But if he does get this job, it's going to be okay for him and for us, because his system is not going to determine, we're not going to change offenses. It's going to look the same. That's the way it did after Kendall Briles and moved to Charlie Weiss Jr. at FAU. They ended up winning a conference championship with both of them. The same type situation would happen here. It'd be the same offense. The tempo and everything is designed into the Lane Kiffin system, because that's what we're really doing at this point, is the Lane Kiffin system. And you just take elements of the Baylor system, mix it with the Lane Kiffin stuff, and you have a nice offensive package that is actually just quite special. It's unbelievable. If you go back and watch us on our YouTube channel and go back to Boot Camp the Offense, and this is even before Ole Miss played a game, breaking down the offense at FAU. And it was a good listen. I had a high school coach on, Corey Burton from Hillwood High, and he just broke down little things that they were doing, talking about the arrow screens and the stuff, and it all just came true once the Ole Miss season started. So we pretty much nailed that. The only difference in that is the Jason Driscoll versus Brian Robeson brand and which one would win out here. And a lot of that came from not counting on a big jump in maturity from Matt Corral. Once that happened, that was a complete game changer because it allowed those physical tools to kind of take shape. And once that happened, he just became the Heisman favorite, the Heisman front runner that he is for 2021. So this offense has a chance to be extremely special. I know we lose Elijah Moore, but we get Jacor Pearson, and John Rice Plumlee played quite well in the defeat of some polls, a top 10 team, as low as 11th in the college football playoff poll, Indiana in the Outback Bowl. So that is something you can keep it on. But if he gets this opportunity, just know with your heart, whatever it takes, whatever you need to do, that it is not the end of the world because it's not going to change the offense. They're going to find somebody to call the plays. Lane Kiffin might call the plays. Who knows? But it's going to be the same system. If Jeff Lebby leaves, it's not going to change because Lane Kiffin's system incorporates the Baylor system. And I am convinced through the boot camp, the offense, and everything else, the Baylor coach gets brought in for install to learn how to play that because there's little shortcuts about who to get the ball to, how to line up, things to make it go a little bit faster, a second here, a second there, a second there. And all of a sudden you see a situation where in the game where Ole Miss completely changes formation, 7 seconds goes off the play clock. We go for it on 4th down and 3 and gain 23 yards through a schemed progression thing. This is something we can do because Lane Kiffin is a master. He's just a master of stacking plays on top of each other. And he does a really great job of just setting you up. And once that happens, all of a sudden the clipboard gets thrown, everybody's excited, and all of a sudden there's a ton of energy in the fan base. Chris Thrasher talked about in Oxford that the momentum is building to 2013, 2014 levels in Oxford. It's not quite there yet, but that's the trajectory it is on. And doing that means once we get there, and with the recruiting, because we recruited quite well. You can see the list when it comes up. There it is right there of the 2021 signing class. We signed a terrific class. And that stacked on top of the 2019 class gives us 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4 is okay. We need 3 out of 4 to really compete. So we need the next class to be really great as well. And once that happens, then you're dealing with the 2020 transition class. 3 out of 4, you can compete. You can compete with 3 out of 4. You can compete with 2 out of 4 as we did before, but 3 or 4 of those players have to be next level players. But you can actually compete with 3 or 4. So we are going down that trajectory. We're building that momentum, and the fan base pulling together is a big part of that momentum. And no cynicism, none of that stuff. because that just drags everything down and it allows that to just infect everything around you. You can't pull the same direction because not everybody wants to watch football that way. But it is happening. And like I said, if this Jeff Lebby thing progresses, great. If it does not, we're going to be fine either way. But just want to say, everybody, this has been a terrific debut program. I'm so thankful you joined me today. And, of course, hotty toddy.